The story I tell is how my grandpa grew up here in Denver. He was born here in Denver, the youngest of the Salino family, and I tell it from my point of view as my grandpa taught me how to gamble. He always came and watched me play sports, and he was just always a constant figure in my life. That's the point of view I tell it from. At the end of his life, I wanted to speak to my grandpa when he couldn't speak anymore. Instead of remembering the man who had cancerous lungs lying in his bed with his oxygen, I wanted to remember my grandpa, Charles Salino, as a handsome and vibrant young man, but I didn't know if I could. My grandpa was the youngest patriarch of the extended Salino family, a larger-than-life man, both figuratively and literally. He was tall, slender, and so very handsome, but also very strong and kind-hearted. He was always there at my basketball games, cheering me on, while constructively critiquing my play. He walked into every game and sat at the half court, maybe 3 or 4 rows up. I'd wave to acknowledge his omnipresence. His life at that point was watching his grandchildren play sports, and my grandpa's passion for sports was something that I now have. Grandpa's athleticism didn't necessarily happen on the basketball court. Rather, it was demonstrated in his prowess of knowing when to hold the cards or when to fold. He taught my sister and I to play poker because that's what he enjoyed. We would sit at the kitchen table for hours, while Grandpa taught my sister and I how to bet, what cards to play, and the strategy of poker. Gambling was a way of connection between my sister, my grandpa, and myself, because it was something that we could become good at, something that we could share with Grandpa. From going to the dogs with him, what Grandma and Grandpa would call the dog races, to hearing stories of shooting craps in the basement of the house on 38th and Umatilla, Grandpa's favorite pastime became our favorite pastime. When Grandpa died in 2000, I thought I would never speak to him again. But actually, I speak to him every day. When I ask him to protect my grandma, my family, when I ask him to take care of my sister, and when I ask him to pray for me. I know Grandpa is still around when I go to work every day and get there safe. When I hear a Dean Martin song and it reminds me of my grandpa in a Newsteader suit with a Lucky Strike in his hand. My grandpa taught me that one word could mean so much, and that being loyal is the most important thing in life. I didn't realize how close I was to him until he was gone. But I realized that I could speak to him and that I could remember him as a vibrant young man through prayer and silent conversation. I'm about to get married at the Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church, where my grandparents were married, where every member of my maternal family were baptized, and every important Catholic life ritual in my family and the larger Italian community was celebrated. Although my fiancé has never met my grandpa, I don't worry about that because my grandpa still looms large in the context of my life, and my fiancé will know him. I have a little piece of my grandpa's charisma, swagger, and his dedication to family ingrained in me.